Beautiful.
Let's do it.
See some familiar faces and some new faces. I love it. Miss Anderson.
Hey,
is back.
Peter. Hey, Eddie.
What's up? What's up?
Good to see you, Michelle.
So,
Let's go. Michelle, are you really at the beach right now? I'm so confused.
no, I'm on 79th Street, the second avenue in New York.
Okay, all right. Because I heard the wind and I'm looking at the backdrop, but I'm like, you got a full Scully on with I'm like, help me out. Help me out. What's going
At the
on?
beach flying kites.
Right. Okay. All right. Got full seagulls back there. I'm like, oh man, this broker car gonna be lit. All right, now we do have somebody from the beach. Bates, is that Boynton Beach? Is that how you pronounce that? Oh, you're on mute.
Yes, it's Boynton Beach, Florida.
Boynton Beach, Florida. All right, got you.
I used to live in Boynton Beach, Florida.
You did?
I sure did.
How long ago?
Oh man. Now I'm gonna date myself. A long time ago, I finished high school down there. I graduated high school in 1983. So I lived in Boynton from 81 to 83. Spent some time there through about. Well, I was living in Boynton when I got married 34 years ago. So we lived in Boynton for about 4 months, and then we got moved to Michigan, and we've been back to visit, but we've never lived there again. So left in 88. Been a long time.
Oh, yes, it has. Yeah, I just moved here in 2019 from the state of Washington.
Oh, wow. That's a long.
Yeah, from one coast to the other coast.
corner to corner.
Yes.
All right.
Let's do it. I see my guy Jerry's in the house. Jerry, what's going on? Can you unmute? See if we can get Jerry to unmute. If for those of you who are new, may not know, Jerry is the money man. If you guys remember that movie where he said, "Show me the money," that was actually based off of Jerry's life.
That's right.
He is a debt broker, and we're doing it every week now, right?
No, not yet. We will get to that.
Okay.
But it's every other week right now.
Okay. So are we on this week or is next week?
No, it'll be next week.
Next week. All right. So next week, Wednesday night, 8 p.m. You guys want to tap in. Jerry goes over why you need what you need, how to take a look at the deal after underwriting takes a look at it and see if it's even worth going after. Peter and I, we were just talking about like having a good deal, right? It's a good deal on paper. The numbers make sense, but then you got to look and say like, okay, finance-wise, is this the direction we want to go through? Because you could possibly pick up a deal and start to go for a raise and et cetera, and you bid off more than you can chew, right? And you want to make sure that you're not putting on more debt than is necessary, et cetera. I don't know all the details to that. Jerry does, and that's what he goes over every other week. You don't want to miss that call. In fact, the way that we have this whole ecosystem set up, as I'm sure you guys have seen already, and I'll share with you in just a second, the way that we have the ecosystem set up is so that, you know, once you find a deal, you get activated on Sunday, and then you go out like a madman and you start talking to brokers like we're about to in just a couple of minutes here, right? And then once you talk to a broker, you get a deal that a broker sends over to you like, oh, this is great. We can make this happen. The very next day, we do napkin underwriting. Napkin underwriting is the core principle of underwriting, right? It's the basis. It's where you start everything that makes sense. You'll know if it makes sense. And what you do after napkin underwriting is you go sit down with Jerry and his amazing wife, right? And they'll break down, okay, listen, I see the deal. It makes sense. You went through napkin. And there's a step here between Tuesday and Wednesday that you're not seeing. And that step is after the napkin underwriting, which we'll go over that tomorrow night. But after the napkin underwriting, you go ahead and push your deal to what I call elevated underwriting. So one of the underwriters will take your deal from the napkin and they will underwrite it with you and go deeper dive with you, right? They go to a higher level, I should say, with you to make sure that you get all the details, everything that you absolutely need to make the deal make sense, right? The deep dive of it. Then you go sit down with Jerry and say, listen, I got it. Jerry knows how to look at the underwriting and then be able to say, okay, well, from the financing point of view, from the debt point of view, this is how you may want to go about it. And we work with you throughout the whole process, right? So this is our ecosystem. How do you get signed up for that? So one of the things you want to do is you want to make sure that you are part of the ecosystem, part of the community by joining the Multifamily Freedom Chasers Facebook page. And it's just Multifamily Freedom Chasers. We'll put a link in here for you guys as well. And then the other thing that you want to do is make sure you're following us on social because we always post it. We send it to your email, we'll text you just to make sure that you don't miss it, right? And in a couple of weeks, we have Mr. Victor NG, who is also an amazing underwriter. He's going to be coming in and he's going to be giving us an advanced underwriting. Now, here's what I want you all to understand. When you are learning underwriting, think of it like college. All right, Renee, I see your hand up. Do me a favor, text me. Now, so put in the chat if you have a scheduled call or if you just had a question. I just want to make sure. The underwriting is like levels in college. So the napkin underwriting is freshman, right? And as you get better and more proficient at it, you get to the advanced levels, which is like level 3 and 4. So Victor is going to go over level 3 and 4 for you, teach you how to do it. You don't need to master it, okay? In this team, I got you, Randy. In this team, as you notice, there are certain things that each of us has our own skill set at, okay? And that's why you work together with a team. So here you're going to find some people who's going to be great at broker conversations. Tomorrow night, you'll find some people who's great at doing napkin underwriting, et cetera, et cetera. So it's good to know what you need to know, but you don't need to master everything. Take the pressure off yourself, work with a good team, find that team in the ecosystem, and you'll be able to make some things happen. So first things first, before we get to Renee's questions, Renee actually has led the way. Only thing that I would have changed is I don't know where you are located. So if you guys are paying attention to my name, what you want to do is you want to take your name and you want to add your state and then your phone number. Why is this important? We do this every week because we're teaching you guys how to be able to network with each other. There's really no point of doing this if you're not able to network because you're missing out on opportunities. So you want to be able to change your name and make sure that you put where you are. So for example, right now, let's say William had a deal in Georgia. He knows he can reach out to me because I just put I'm in Georgia and I put my contact information, right? And now we can work together or I can offer any assistance in any way that I can. Now, the other thing that you guys want to do is you want to go into the chat. All right. And what I suggest is you kind of have this stuff already written out, put it in like a put it in a Word document or anywhere that you can kind of have it already saved. And when you go to the chat, you want to put 3 things. You want to put 1, all your information as far as contact, how you get a hold of you, email, phone number. If you want to put, where your grandma stay, I don't care. Just put all the details that you need if you want somebody to get in contact with you. The second thing you want to do is you want to put, what is your superpower? Okay. What are you really, really good at? I mean, something you could do in your sleep, not an issue. You can make this happen. Hey, I need help underwriting a deal. For example, on the single family space, I do a lot of creative deals. It's one of the things that I'm known for. In the beginning, I used to need to be in front of my computer. I need to have a cup of water, pen, paper, pencil, and an Excel spreadsheet. Now I could be driving in the car and you can call me and I can underwrite a creative deal for you while I'm driving to go pick up my son. I've done it so many times that it's second nature to me at this point, right? So I say all that because that's my superpower. All right. What's the thing that you are really, really good at or you really, really enjoy? And then you want to put what's the thing that you're looking for, right? So Jerry just did it, put where he's from. He put what he does, his superpower, he put his contact. The only thing that I don't like about Jerry's message is I don't know what Jerry's looking for. So I can't give value back to him. So make sure you put what you're looking for in there as well, and we'd be good to go. So, Rennie, what is your question? Unmute yourself. Come on. Dara, what's going on? Peter, what's up?
You hear me?
Yes, yes.
Hey, what's going on?
What's up, man?
Oh, sorry, man. You hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
Okay. So my question is real quick. So last week I talked to Edward about a deal. Well, a portfolio I got sent over to my wife overnight and stuff, and we were just looking at the numbers. So he went over deal with us. Unfortunately, I cut some nasty calls, so I haven't been able to get back to the broker. How would I? So the questions that him and I had, or all of us had about the deal was the numbers are really like up and down, like big time. Like some months they're high, other months they were really low. They're pretty behind on collecting rent and stuff. So what would be the best way to like ask the broker without coming across like rude or anything like that? What would be the best way to ask him about, hey, why are the numbers like this? And do you know that the seller told you anything about them, or how would you like word that question to get those answers?
Okay, perfect. Great question. And also shout out to Jerry. He just changed it. He said he put exactly what he's looking for. I'm looking to network with real estate investors so I can grow my mortgage business. Perfect. Love it. So great question. And Peter, if you're okay, I'll take a stab at this.
Absolutely.
So I love this. Actually, this is a really great question because I do it for my team, especially on the single family space. I do a lot of training. I do sales training. It's one of the things that I absolutely love. And one of the reasons why I love it so much is because I'm very much into human psychology. I'm into like NLP. I'm into like those type of things. These are things that I study. Like, for example, a lot of people was watching the football game yesterday. I was reading a book on human nature, right? Like I would do it just for free, just for fun, okay? Now, one of the best ways, I see you, baby. One of the best ways to get a question answered without coming off too aggressive is this. I'm gonna give you guys a real shortcut. The best way to do this, Renee, is to ask in a tonality of confusion and or seeking some sort of help. So for example, and we'll role play, right? You can unmute. Let's role play real quick. And I heard some of the questions that you had, but I'm just gonna throw some in there as well. So I want you to be the broker. And I want you to be the broker that in your mind, you were already expecting that broker to be before you had asked this question. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So ring, ring. Hello.
Hello.
Hey, Rennie, how you doing?
Not bad. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Doing good. I just want to give you a call back. This is Eddie Charger. I don't know if you remember, we spoke last week about that multifamily property.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. I wanted to hit you up. I had a couple of questions. I spoke with my underwriting team and we kind of went back and forth on a few things. I'm sorry, man. Do you have some time right now for us to talk, or should I call you back?
No, yeah, we can talk right now.
Okay, I promise I won't hold you long. So like I said, my team looked at a couple of things. They kind of walked me through some things that we were looking at on, through all the documents that you sent over. I just had a couple of things I needed help getting cleared up on. So for example, there seems to be, it looks like there's some like not there's some rent that wasn't paid, or do you know anything about that? Like, there seems to be inconsistency in the rent. I'm not sure if maybe the documents were just wrong, or what do you know about that?
All right, that's where you got it, because I don't know how they would respond to that. I mean,
How do you, well, just make something up, right? It really doesn't matter how they respond to it. The point was more sort of like how I asked you the question, right? Did it sound like I was coming off a little bit like, hey, dude, what's up, Buster? You sent me this information, you didn't give me all the details. Like, you know what I mean? Like, did it come off that way, or do you understand?
No, it came off really good. I mean, that's that's why I was asking, like how would I ask it without?
All right, perfect. So here's what we're gonna do. Here's what we're gonna do. There's another question that you had. Let's switch the roles really quick. I'll become the broker, and I want you to ask 2 questions that Ed and yourself had for the broker. So I'm the broker now, and you're gonna role play with me. Give me a call.
All right, ring ring.
Hello.
Hi, Eddie. This is Rennie. We spoke last week.
Hey,
about...
Rennie. I don't want any Comcast cable. I'm good, man. Thanks.
Oh, man. I know.
He's like, oh man, making it worse. All right, go ahead. Hey, Rennie, yeah, I remember you, man. How's it going?
Not too bad. So, real quick, do you guys some time right now? I can ask you a few questions in regards to the deal.
Yeah, I got a few minutes, man. I was hoping you gave me a call back. My seller is ready to go. I'm trying to see what you guys want to do.
I know, that's good. That's good. Because so I got done talking to my underwriter team and stuff, and as we were going through some of the numbers, we had a few questions about, especially regarding the rent, how it kind of fluctuates up and down quite a lot. So our question was, do you know if the seller has spoken to you in regards to those numbers, or do you have any idea about why such a big change month to month in regards to that first?
Yeah, we changed property management companies, and sounds like they, came in and got rid of some of the bad tenants that was there. So that kind of would change the flow of rent. But when I talked with the seller last week, they got everything corrected, and so everybody's in there paying full rent right now.
Oh, okay, that's awesome. So it was more of a management situation, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's kind of what we were wondering, where the if it was management or just the area itself. All right, so okay, well, let me I'll go ahead and pass the word over to my underwriters, and then let's see if we can.
Was that the only question?
Yeah, because that's the only kind of sign that we saw where the numbers were very, very off month in and month out. So we just kind of wanted to verify to see if it was just the area that the properties are on, or if it was more of a management situation. So I can go ahead and pass this on to my underwriter, and like I said, I mean, we can go ahead and try to get this moving, and hopefully get back to you with the next process, and we can get it all done.
Rennie, that was perfect, man. Thank you. That was great. Here's a question I have for you. What happens if you ask him or her and they don't have an answer for you? What do you say?
See,
so let's say you just ask me like, oh wait, what's going on with the rent? I'm like, you know what, buddy, I have no idea, man. What do you say next?
Would I probably ask him, would it like if they know more about if it would be more of the area, then if they're local over there?
Don't do none of that, because what you're doing now is you're throwing out reasons that they can go hide behind. Oh yeah, it's the area, right?
Okay.
Like, no, don't make any assumptions. This is exactly what you say. So for example, I'm gonna ask you a question and I want you to say, I don't know. Hey, Rennie, one last thing. I was talking to my guy, Ed, and he's out underwriter, handsome guy, should be in Hollywood, but for some reason he likes numbers. He said something about there being a large amount of money being spent in the employees, and it was kind of sporadic as far as like the amounts. Do you know anything about that?
I don't.
You don't?
Yeah, I don't.
Got you. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna write it down so I can make sure I can tell them. Okay, so you don't know anything about that. Hey, Rennie, could you do me a favor? Could you go find out about it and then get back to me?
Yeah, I can go ahead and ask my client about it.
Awesome, perfect. I'll let Ed know. How soon do you, like, how long do you think it'll take for you to do that? Is that something you can get back to me today, or do you need till tomorrow?
No, I should be able to get back to you later on today.
Perfect. Man, Rennie, you know what I love working about you? I know we just started working, but you are a man of your word, right? Like, you tell me when you're going to get it done, and I already know it's going to get done. So I'm going to put this down when I can get back in touch with you later on this afternoon. Does that work?
Yeah, that'll work.
Okay, I got my daughter's recital at 6. Can I call you around 5:30? Does that work for you?
Yeah, that'll work.
Perfect. That's how you do that,
Okay.
right? Like, I hold your feet to the fire, and I got a time frame. I said things about you. There's no way I could possibly know that, but you're not gonna be like, no, that's not me. I'm actually not that guy, right? You're gonna be like, yes, of course, right? That's how you want to handle that. I wanted Ed to jump in and kind of give some feedback on that. So, Ed, welcome to the call, my guy.
What up, everyone? So I agree with a lot of what Eddie said. One thing for me, anytime I'm setting up a call or I get a broker on the phone and I have a question about something from underwriting, I always make sure I have a follow-up question or something else to discuss. Like, let's say I haven't talked to them in a week, right? Even if I'm calling them for one specific question regarding like the underwriting, let's say, or whatever the case is, I always say, okay, have you gotten any interest in the property since last time we spoke? Has anything changed with the property? Has, for example, when it comes to like inconsistent rents or management being an issue, well, now that you resolve the problem with management, like improve the company by having a new management company, is the seller still looking to sell even? Like, well, if it seems like it's trending up, like, give me the facts of like what it is, like what's their expectation now? Because you then get to discredit like the property, because at the end of the day, if they're now like, oh my god, this company's so great and this property is so much better than it was last week, their expectation now is higher on the price. Like, I would want to know if the seller all of a sudden thinks they can get more for their property because of one change. If they do, then okay, let me talk to the property management company, like, because that's going to be your problem now. So you want to make sure that, sure, the current or the new management company's better, or they're improving rents, or they're doing X, Y, and Z, but is that consistent? Like, are they qualifying their tenants properly? What if they're just putting in the highest bidder? That's not always a good thing, you know? Because I've made the mistake where, oh, you just rent it to the person who offered the most, and then they cause headache and problems that's 10 times more than the difference of price than a good tenant. So, those are things and then anytime they don't know about the rents or anything, like, you would think they would, because like with the broker, like, they should notice those inconsistencies, and if they don't, or they haven't asked the seller yet, they're like, oh, has anyone else asked this about the T12 or the rent roll? Has anyone else noticed this or mentioned it to you? And if they say no, then all right, then it is what it is. But at least you can just like question them on it, like, hey, give me some more info, or give me like, is this like, why don't you have the answer, to be honest, at times. But that's how I look at it, because if you're working with a seller on a 10 million, $20 million property, you should know as a broker a lot about the property, sometimes more than the seller does, to be honest. So keep that in mind, where it's like, as much as you want to qualify them as much as they're trying to qualify you. That's how you can really shift. Like, for anyone who's hesitant, at the end of the day, if the broker doesn't know what they're talking about, I'm not going to talk to the broker. I've hung up on brokers and told them, don't call me about this property again, because they didn't know what they were talking about. And I was like, you're wasting my time. Like, I don't have time to just fool around and like the broker's trying to get stuff out of me. I'm like, no, just no, like, it's not happening. There's thousands of properties. I'm not wasting my time with someone who doesn't know what they're talking about. So I try to call for them as much as, because they're doing the paperwork. That's the scary part. They don't know this stuff. How are they gonna do the paperwork that you're gonna be on the contract for?
Yep.
Yeah. No, yeah, see, that's what I was wondering. I'm like, well, you would think that they would know the answers to this if they really see the numbers. But all right, no, at least now I know how to ask the questions, and if they don't know what to really ask instead of
And
you know
another
tap
thing,
out.
like to Eddie's point, if they, hey, can you find this out for me? Or I like to also ask, like, do you have a time set up where you're next gonna talk to the seller? Like, the kind of question them on something you think they should have ready, you know, like, oh, you mean like you don't have an appointment set with your seller when you're gonna talk next? And if not, then be like, hey, what's their availability? Honestly, if you can get on a call and directly with the seller, that's even better. Like, oh, I have like, hey, if the seller's available, I'd love to jump on a call with them as well. If they're hesitant to do that, cool. Then I need this. You're gonna be put to work now if you don't want me to talk to the seller. And at that point, they're like, oh, you know what you're talking about, you know?
So one of the things that I want you guys all to think about, right? Like if you ever get to the point where we're like, yeah, okay, cool. Let's talk to this broker. Let's talk to the seller, right? And you're like, I don't know if I know enough to be talking to a seller. What if they say something and I'm completely caught off guard? One, it's like learning how to ride a bike, right? I can promise you that if you learn all the right things, that you should be able to ride a bike without falling. But the odds of you not falling ever is very rare, right? So don't be afraid of like looking like a brand new person on the phone with a broker or a seller. In fact, I oftentimes tell people that, hey, it's probably better for you to say out loud, I'm new. I'm the new guy on my team. There's a big difference between saying I'm brand new, don't know what I'm doing, versus I'm the new guy on my team in this department. So have some patience with me, right? But if you ever had a call and you wanted to get assistance, I would first recommend making sure you go through the napkin underwriting first, then submit your deal. Once you submit your deal, you'll get an email back with a calendar link that will allow you to be able to set up a phone call with one of the people from the underwriting team and the seller. So if you wanted to, you can take that time to just talk about the deal, or you can have the broker and the seller or vice versa on that call, so you're not on there by yourself. All right. So with that being said, let's jump straight into it. I want to
add to that real quick. You made a good point that I want to elaborate on. You were on that call. Do you remember this? Where it was the four of us about with that capital group. I got punched in the stomach so hard. I've never been speechless in my life. As you guys know, I don't shut up. This guy had me speechless. I was like, okay, this guy just kicked my ass. I had nothing to say. But it was the best call I've ever had. I learned more from that than the other 100 calls I've ever, thousands, it feels like.
Absolutely.
Eddie was like, oh man, that was brutal. I was like, yeah, that was painful.
Yeah, my first call was embarrassing. It was extremely brutal, and it was just like, welcome to the big leagues, right? Like literally the guy kind of said that, right? And it was like, I've never been more excited because, so in my single family real estate investment, my first call ever, like I studied all week and I was like, today's the day. I turned on the dollar and pressed go. The first call that picked up a guy, I remember it to this day, this guy name was Bob, but I thought his name was Dick, and I'll tell you why. So he picked up and he let me have it at 8:15 in the morning. And when I say let me have it, I don't mean like slightly, I don't mean like he was annoyed. I mean, he must have been up at 6:30, and from 6:30, he stubbed his toe, and from there, everything was downhill. So it just so happened that I called him at the right time, and he gave me everything that he had. Like, I almost felt like he was breathing heavy. That's how tired he was from giving me what he had to give. But because of that, moving forward, I was never afraid to make a call because I was like, there's no other call that's going to be worse than that one. All right. And I got that call and I'm still alive. So let's do it. And it happened in multifamily. You guys need that. You need to fall off your bike. You need to be able to, take these experiences that you're having with your broker talks and your seller conversations and like cherish those moments. So you can share it later on with people that's going to be like, oh, I'm just scared to make a call. And Daryl's going to be like, listen, my first call was not the best. All right, don't worry about it. Miss Simmons, how are you, girl?
I'm great. How you doing?
Doing good, doing good. What you got?
I have a question. Okay, first, I submitted a deal to the napkin underwriting form, and I didn't get an email response back. So I'm just wondering if you received it. Do I need to redo it? If I don't know, just wanted to put that out there.
I'll put the link right here just so you can make sure. But
Okay.
I'll put it in the chat so that you can make sure it's the right one.
Okay. And then also I've run into a couple of, not really an issue, but one of the deals I'm working on, I spoke to 2 brokers. They were very helpful, very receptive. The second call was to like one of the, I guess not the head brokers, because the other main broker was not available. So he told me that they were awaiting some concrete reports from the seller to have more accurate estimations for the underwriting process. So don't go with what they've supplied thus far as the final numbers. They'll have some more accurate numbers at the end of last week. So I told him I'd follow up. And then on top of that, he was giving me, which you guys kind of gave one of you all mentioned something helpful. You said if you just are calm and you talk to them and you kind of build rapport, they may even start telling you how to submit the LOI, how to write the offer. He started doing that. And I'm a newbie, like you said, and I explained to him that I'm a new member in the department on my team and all that. So some of the info, it was too fast. He was rattling it off too fast, So I was asking him to repeat it and just try to take as many notes as I could and get information on the follow-up for the extra new concrete numbers. So when I tried to follow up with them on Friday, nobody answered the phone. So at this point, is that standard because it was a Friday? In your opinion, would you just follow up? And then on top of that, he was trying to refer me back to the head broker who didn't answer her phone on Friday. So should I just go back around and contact him again? How would you handle that?
So that is standard for everyone that's in this industry. All right. Real estate agents is the cousins of brokers, in my honest opinion, right? So when a broker picks up, it's like, oh, wow, you guys, but it happens. I have a deal that I called the agent several times, not the agent, I called the broker several times as if she either owed me money or she was my ex. I called the department, like the actual company she worked for, spoke with the assistant there who gave me the contact information of the broker's assistant to the deal. I called her several times. She picked up on the second time, thankfully. And then she proceeded to tell me that she's not part of this deal and hung up in my face without giving me any other context clues. Long story short, I must have called 4 to 5 people on Friday and I got nowhere. And today's Monday and I am calling 4 to 5 people again. I don't care how long it takes for me to call because I understand and know one thing, the fortune is in the follow-up. Ed said this earlier today when we was in a meeting. The fortune is in the follow-up. If it's a deal that you like, you follow up. It doesn't make it sound like you're thirsty. What it does, it shows your broker that you're serious. And at the end of the day, the whole reason why we're doing this is so that you guys get more comfortable in having conversations and building relationships with the brokers. It's not the deals that's going to make you guys accomplish your goal in multifamily. It's the broker relationships. Do you guys think that Grant Cardone, for example, is spending a lot of time talking to different brokers? Or do you think he's built enough relationships along the way that people are calling him saying, I got something that's coming down the pipeline? That's where you want to get. Ms. Simmons, there is no reason why that can't be you. The only difference between what him and his team is doing now or have versus you is that they've put more time in. So you're earning your hours right now as well, right? So keep following up. Never stop following up. Then I'm so glad you brought this up, because this is something I want to talk about a little bit later, is the way you follow up. Like the guys got to think of it like this. Follow up, even if you're not talking about the same deal that I called you about the first time we talked, right? Peter is great at this. Peter will call a broker back just to be like, how you doing? How's the dogs? Right? And how does Peter even know the guy has dogs? Because Peter was taking notes, which is what you guys should be doing. Peter was taking notes the first time he spoke with the broker. There was a bunch of dogs in the background. So either the broker is part-time working at the local vet or pound, or he owns some dogs, right? And so those are things when you get back on the phone, you be like, hey, Sims, I was just reaching out. How's things going? Hey, how's the dogs? I know I heard him last time. What kind of dogs it was? You are now taking interest in the person, and now the person in turn, because this is a cognitive bias, it's a human nature thing. The person in turn is going to want to take interest in what you are interested in. And if that's a multifamily deal, they will make sure to send you what they got coming next. So you already started the process, and this is for everybody. If you already had a conversation with a broker, I personally feel like you should be touching bases with your broker at least once a week. Once a week. It doesn't have to be a long call, 5 minutes. Call it what you want, but that's how you want to be able to do it. And you preferably want to be able to connect with the ones that are the actual broker, not like the junior broker. Right? The junior broker, some of them may not be as serious. They may not be here next year. They might be, decide to become a barber next year or whatever. I don't know. But the actual brokers is who you want to be able to connect with.
Thank you.
Peter, do you have a call? You got one? Okay, no. All right, so I want to ask and get some feedback from people here, because I know you guys been making broker calls. What have you guys been going through, right? What kind of results have you been getting? Have you not been getting results? Like, let's really do a deep dive. I don't want you guys to just come on and then like, okay, I can give you a little bit of something. I want to make sure we're truly pushing forward and making an impact. So I'm gonna see if anyone just wants to unmute. If not, I will gladly randomly pick somebody and we'll just do it that way.
I'll go.
Okay.
This is Alicia. Can you hear me
Hey,
all right?
Alicia. Yes, you sound great.
Sometimes my internet's choppy. So I feel like the structure and everything that we go through has helped a lot with confidence. And so far, I feel like most of my interactions have been either neutral / disinterested, or like laziness maybe on part of the broker, or pretty positive. So Edward helped me with a couple of LOIs last week, and I was wondering, like, if I send out an LOI and then it's like dead silence, how would you reconnect with that broker?
So you sent out an LOI and the broker hasn't told you if they like it, they hate it, you just haven't heard nothing back. Right? Okay, so it's the same exact thing. It's still a follow-up. Just because you sent a LOI and you didn't hear anything back doesn't necessarily mean that they don't like what you had. It just means they don't have enough information yet from their seller to be able to tell you, hey, we're going with your offer. Now, Another thing could be is how are you having your conversations? If your conversations are real clean cut and dry and just about the deal, like there's no interaction there was no like, you didn't make the person feel good, then they may not just want to call you back to tell you we're going in a different direction because they don't really care to, right? So you got to present something bubbly so that the conversation seems fun. And more importantly, it seems at the end of the call, it seems like there's a promise for us to do more business. That's going to guarantee to be able to get somebody to reach back out to you. But don't expect it, right? In this game, do not expect a broker to reach back out to you. The good ones will, but go ahead, Ed.
So it's funny because I called someone before this call for this exact scenario. I had sent them an LOI, I think it was 10 days ago, almost 2 weeks ago, and they never emailed me back. And then I emailed them 4 or 5 days ago, sometime last week, and they never emailed me back. And I was like, okay. So I called one phone number, that didn't work. I called their second number, and I was like, hey, what's going on with this offer? Just wanted to make sure you got my LOI and whatnot. And he's like, oh, call for offers are next week. Obviously my offer had seller carry, which is not every offer I offer is going to. And he's like, oh, seller might not be interested in leaving a note, which essentially means that seller doesn't want to sell a carry off the jump, which is understandable. Like, it may not be everyone's first option. If you told me I could get the price I want all up front, yeah, I'd take it. But that's just not the market we're in. So he said, because I obviously put a cash offer, like, in it, which traditional, I should say. And they're like, oh, that came in a little low. I'm like, yeah, you're right, it did. And he's like, well, we just want to wait to see what happens. That's fine. They won't tell us that. Like, he saw my offer, he knew what I was referring to. He remembers it without even pulling it up. But he just didn't reach out to me about it, which is cool because I would have eventually heard something, hopefully. But it's like,
and also too, like, the broker is going to present the best offer first to the seller. And the seller, in their mind, the best offer is going to be the highest number at asking or above. So if they haven't got anything like that, there's nothing to present, right? Which means there's no follow-up yet. But give it a few weeks and all of a sudden, oh, let me reach back out to this guy because he had the more promising offer, right? He gave me 3 different offers. So what happens when you give multiple offers? Brokers and sellers see, okay, this guy he's willing to work, right? It seems like is open to different possibilities. Let's see if one of those possibilities is him coming up to my number, right? Or something of the sort. So it's all about the following up. Don't take it personal. Make sure you follow up. What I would do is have an Excel spreadsheet where you keep in track of everything. And I say Excel spreadsheet because if I tell you guys a CRM, we're going to be in a week-long battle about which CRM you should go with. It doesn't matter. You want an Excel spreadsheet that says the address, the broker, the phone number, when you send out the LOI, or if you didn't send out a LOI, and then when's your next follow-up. And that's it, right? And I like Excel or I like Google Sheets because you could be anywhere, right? If you're not home and you were at the grocery store, you got some time to kill, you can be like, oh, let me pull up my Google Sheet and see which broker I was going to call back today and just give them a call, right? Remove the things that would typically stop you from completing the task. Make them more simple so you can do those tasks and get done. Sounds good? Perfect. All right. Thank you so much. All right, who else? What kind of experience have you been having? And also, if you haven't had any experience, like, I would actually love to talk to someone who has not spoken to a broker yet. Who's that?
Me.
Awesome. Let's do it. Okay, so you haven't spoken to a broker yet. Now,
No, I sent an email out and he responded to the email said he'd send me information. And about 3 days went by, so I sent him another email to, see what he forgot, And so anyway, I haven't heard back from him at all, so.
All right, let's backtrack. So you said you sent him an email. Or were you originally outreaching to brokers via email, or how did you pick
No,
that broker?
it was on a Sunday, and I figured, well, I don't like bothering people on a Sunday necessarily. But so I just sent him an email. And then the next day he answered and said, "Oh, thanks for contacting me." And he says, "I'll send you the information that you asked for."
Yeah.
And like I said, about 3 days went by and hadn't heard anything. So I just jotted out, another little note saying that I had sent you an email such and such a day, and I haven't had a response. So I was wondering what was, how it is. So.
Okay, got it. So let me ask you one more question before I kind of help out here. Excuse me. Have you spoken to a broker before at all?
No.
No. All right. So first things first. It is apparent that the broker that you emailed is not a really good communicator via email.
Okay.
Right? So don't force him to communicate the way that you are comfortable communicating. You have to adapt to communicate how the seller or the broker is willing to communicate, right? Don't make it harder for them to do what they don't want to do. Make it easier for them. Make it harder for you to do that. So I'm under the impression you don't like talking on the phone or talking on the phone to brokers, which is why you haven't had a broker call yet, or you chose to email this guy instead of calling him even on the Monday, because you could have called, hey, I sent you the email, did you get it? But you didn't. You waited 3 days, and I'm not coming at you. I'm using you as an example to kind of like showcase to everyone, because you're not the only person. I promise you, you're not the only person that has done this. So what I want to do is first commend you for sending the email, because some people would have said, "Oh, it's Sunday. They're not going to see it. I'll just wait till tomorrow," and then tomorrow never comes. So you did that, but we got to get you on the phone. You got to call this broker, and then in addition to that, why are you only talking to one broker?
It was the only one listed.
Okay, perfect. So where are you looking for listing properties?
It was in Florida.
In Florida, but what website was it?
Let me look.
So I'm gonna put in the chat a couple of there was an actual page. I gotta find the page, but in the chat I'm gonna put different companies. You can just do a Google search for any one of these. All of these here are places you can type into Google and be able to find listed properties that are on market.
Okay.
Which basically means they are all attached to brokers. So now you should never run out of a potential broker to talk to, which is good, right? That's what you want. You want. Listen, Ms. Anderson, you want every broker to know your name. That's what you want. You want every broker to be like, "Oh yeah, I got this property. Oh, who should I send? Oh, I know who to send it to." That's what you want. All right. Now it sounds like you like Florida.
Yeah, well, that's what I was told, to kind of stick in your own area of sorts. I own an 8-apartment complex in Idaho, so it really doesn't bother me to go out of state, but I'm just kind of following what I was told to do.
Okay. All right. We're gonna rock this. This is gonna be great. Do you have the script?
The script?
The broker script?
No.
No? Okay. I'm gonna post the broker script.
Okay.
And because I also think the reason why you aren't calling on the phone is maybe you don't feel comfortable not knowing what to say. Is that right, or am I just?
Yeah, no, that's right.
Okay. I mean, sometimes I'm poking in the dark, but I just wanted to make sure.
Yes, no, you're right.
Awesome. Okay, so go ahead and open that script up, and when you get it, make yourself a copy. Now it's called a script. It's not really a script. It's a guideline. It's a summary of different things you should say. All right.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be in order. You know, pay attention to information that they might give you beforehand. So if they already told you what the price is, you don't have to get to step number 2 and say, oh, what's the whisper price? They already said it, right? So be mindful of all that.
Okay.
All right, and then
Gotta make a copy, send a copy.
here's what we're gonna do. Let me know when you pull that up.
Okay, yeah, I pulled it up.
Okay. We might be cooking with grease. You're not even ready for what we're about to do. All right, so now now you said Florida. Any parts of Florida? I mean, Florida's pretty big. Where do you want to get something?
I've been kind of working north of Boynton Beach, Florida, so up toward West Palm Beach and Orlando, up toward Jacksonville.
Okay, let's do Orlando. Let's see what we got. So I'm going to share my screen. And we are going to make calls live.
Except I don't have my printer isn't working. So
Oh, you don't need a printer. You don't need a printer. All right, so here we go. So this is the area you like?
I don't know. I don't see anything yet.
Oh, sorry. Let me know. Can you guys see my screen? All right, Miss Anderson, can you see it now?
No, I don't. I'm not.
Well, they're saying they can see it. Are you on a computer?
Oh, there it is. Okay.
Okay. All right.
Kind of small. I don't know how it got small, but
So actually, you know what I'm gonna do to make it even, oh yeah, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm also gonna put the script in here too. So here's what we're gonna do. We have like 30 plus people on this call. And I just had a solid call by them. Jump on, good. Parents say recording for feedback. All right, awesome. Yes, send that recording. In fact, we can do the feedback right now if you send it over now, Daryl. And next time, Daryl, don't be stingy with it, man. Come on, flag us down, right? Let's do it live. So here's what we're gonna do. Ms. Anderson, can everybody here let me know and let Ms. Anderson know if they are okay with helping her make this call? Put it in the chat.
I have my screen, like the map and stuff is for some odd reason is showing up really super small, and I'm kind of done with my phone. So
don't you worry that we're not gonna let that be an excuse. We got you. We got you. I know you are in beautiful beach zone area, but right now the heat is on you. I can feel that you feel that the heat is on you. I absolutely love it. I love it. So here's what we're gonna do. There's 7 results over here in Orlando. We'll pick which one. So this is a 1 unit. This is the 4 unit. This is the 4 unit. This is the 4 unit. This is the 20 unit. This is the 80 unit. Let me know which one you like the most. This is a 140 unit.
Let's try the 140. That's my goal at the end of the year. So.
Oh, there you go. Swing for the fences. So my goal when I first got started was 1,000 doors. All right, still my goal. But just to kind of give you guys some feedback, my goal was $1,000. The first deal that I called the whole team on and we was going at it was literally for 997 units
Oh my,
as my first like ever type of thing, right? So I'm with you, right? You say I want 100 plus doors, let's go with the 100. Let's do it. All right. So what do you guys think? This is a good property. Andrea said you're gonna do great. Let's take a look at the pictures really quick. Looks pretty clean. All right, we've seen several manufactured properties already. All right, so this just repeats. So when I look at pictures, one of the first things that I try to do is I try to see what is there available in terms of what still needs to be done, right? It looks like they did some sort of curb appeal on the outside, right? It doesn't look like it's in bad shape. There's a pool here that looks pretty nice. This gate looks nice. The coloring on the wall, on the outside brick looks nice. There's no trash or anything like that anywhere. The floor looks good. Now, obviously, we don't know how new these pictures are or how recent, I should say. Then we have the inside of this one unit. I don't know for sure if this is the only unit that they cleaned up and then took a picture to make me think everything is done, or if all of them are done, right? But we know that something has been done. And that's all for the pictures. So if I don't look at anything else in my mind, I already have a bunch of questions I want to ask, right? Now I can come down into here. Do they have any LOIs? Okay. So here we got some details about it. Exceptional. Now, see, this is interesting. I didn't see much that needed to be done. But here we see it says exceptional ability to raise rent over $350. Ladies and gentlemen, that is a lot of money when you're talking value upside, right? What is it? $1 equals $20, right? So if you're able to either increase rents or increase something or decrease something by $1, on the back end, it ends up being $20 for you. So if they're saying that there's over $350 ability to raise rents, some people might look at that and go, oh man, I hit the jackpot. I look at that and be like, there's a big issue that somebody doesn't want to deal with. And I got to figure out if it's going to be worth it. But it said through reducing loss to lease and additional lighter scope renovations. So this is something we can ask questions on. Now, Ed, what is loss to lease?
I love that you read my mind. I was just gonna ask, does anyone know what loss to lease is?
Does anybody know?
So
I would think it would be somebody, that either isn't paying or something like that.
yeah,
I'm
exactly.
guessing.
Loss to lease is essentially your bad debt. And bad debt is money that you haven't been paid that is owed, and you should be able to see that if it's documented properly in the rent roll. So you'll see your rents. Usually they have like market rents, what they're actually paying, any additional income that they're paying for. Let's say they're paying for like a laundry service, or they're paying like a water fee if they're paying back utilities, for example. And then what you also see is the bad debt, which is like the balance. Is it okay to have some? Ideally, you want zero at the end of the day. If there's some, is it the end of the world? No, as long as it's manageable. Like I've seen somewhere it looks like the person hasn't paid in a year. It's like, what are they still doing there? So I would ask them, like, what is the cause of this? Because obviously there's a root to the problem. Is it bad management? Is it bad tenant? Is it poor screening? Because that's now your headache. So you definitely want to ask that question and how they can improve it.
All right, love that. So, Ms. Anderson, are you writing down these questions?
Um,
I feel,
well,
I feel like, you know, remember how when you're in school and you were like, oh, I knew I should have brought my pencil and stuff.
well, I have a pen in my hand and a notepad in my lap, and I wrote laundry down.
There you go. There you go. So let's do it.
The rent rolls.
So yeah, Ed, could you break that down? What questions we should be asking for Ms. Anderson?
On the sheet that you just sent?
No, not the sheet, on this particular property. So far we talked about the loss to lease. We talked about this $350, and I also want to ask a question on this $2 million in substantial capex.
So 2 million substantial capex, I'm assuming that has to do with money they've already put into it. One of the most central locations, abundant amenity package with ability to hand. I would ask that. Like anything that's very vague, like abundant amenity package. What the heck does that mean? Exceptional ability to raise rents over 350 through reducing. Okay. Absolutely, you want to capitalize on the loss to lease. Ask them about that. Lighter scope renovations. Do they have like a estimated rehab budget? Have they gotten quotes for that stuff? Why hasn't the seller done it yet? Is always a question I like to ask. And I think one of the biggest questions you can ask is what is their intention after the sale of this property? What do they need? What is their goal? Do they need to 1031 it? Do they want to sell it because they're just tired of the property? Do they want to sell it because it's a partnership falling out? You know, there's so many different factors. You just want to know what their reason for selling is. But until like looking into the financials, I wouldn't dig into it too much in terms of like, but sometimes I actually would even ask, hey, what would you do if you're buying it? Like additions you would make or improvements or value add, what are some things that you would do as the broker if you were the new buyer? And it's an interesting question. You sometimes get a rude response to that, but usually they should be able to definitely give some more perspective.
All right. Get ready because we're about to make this call. I want to bring
Gotta get my little sheet up so I can
Yeah,
read it.
I'll put it up for you. We had a question first. Vinny, go ahead. Where'd you go?
Hey guys,
There
can you hear
go.
me?
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, I was just going to add the loss to lease is actually the gap between the market rent and the current rent. It's not to do with the bad debt, which is separate.
Okay.
So loss to lease is a good thing to have on a property in the market.
Okay, so very good. Thank you for that. And so if that's what that is, then a question I would have is, why is there over $350 per, you know what I mean? Like that's odd.
Yeah, so essentially when that happens, it is possible to happen because what has happened in the last couple of years, the rents have gone up exponentially higher, and there are properties who have not caught up with those rent increases.
Good, right?
So essentially there could be two things. One is the number is a little bit made up and it's padded up. So you wanna make sure that number is accurate by doing your independent market survey. And the second thing is the existing owner has actually not implemented, the rent increases in accordance with the marketplace. So that's, the meat on the bone for the new buyer.
Now, so this is really good, man. I'm so glad you're here and you're explaining this, right? So when I hear that, my question is, Why haven't the previous owner kept up with the market rents?
Yeah, there are several reasons. I mean, the thing is, you know, the market price. So let's say, how much is this asset listed for?
We have it at, I don't even see a price on here.
So what's
We'll
the
have to
cap
call,
rate?
I mean, it says it's currently under LOIs.
Yeah, yeah, it is under LOI. Yeah, I saw that. What's the cap rate on it?
Oh, we don't have any details yet.
Okay, so let's say hypothetically 140 unit. Let's say this is a $20 million asset. Okay.
Okay.
And let's say they had bought it for $14 million. Okay, couple years back. So they made their money for their investors in that much time. They wanna exit out of the deal. They might be on a bridge debt, and you know, their cash flows might be impacted. The bridge loan might be coming up to term. That's something actually you want to check up when you're asking about, you know, why they want to sell. Just ask them what is their current lending situation. Are they on any kind of fixed debt or bridge debt? When is their bridge debt coming up for renewal? So, you know, if bridge debt is coming up, their rates are going to be much higher, or the lender may ask for, you know, rate caps, and that may cost like a $500,000 or $1 million. They don't want to spend that money. So there are several reasons why a seller may want to sell. And sellers can leave that much meat on the bone. Actually, they can be there can be $300 loss to lease. I've seen that.
Perfect. So I love what Vineet was able to do, because he's giving you different different scenarios that can take place, but we don't know what this scenario is. So again, never assume, because whatever you think is probably going to be wrong, right? You want to get the full scope and picture from them. Now, this particular deal says that it's already has an LOI. So we're just going to call to inquire more information in case that doesn't go through, right?
Okay.
So
What's the address of the place?
the address is 1200 West Holding Avenue.
1200 West Holding, Holding,
Yep,
Holding Avenue.
yep.
Jacksonville?
No?
Or
Orlando.
Orlando?
Yeah.
Orlando, okay. What's the guy's name, or is there?
You can be speaking with Michael or Nicholas.
Mike or Nicholas? Okay,
And now here's what I want you to do. I'm actually going to have a few people on this call with you. Some people said that they are available. If you're available again and you want to support Ms. Anderson, type it in the chat or just let me know on screen. What we're going to do is we're going to spotlight you. Vineet, are you available?
I'm available. Yeah.
All right, so Vineet's going to be there. We have Ed that's going to be there. Ms. Anderson, I'm giving you like top shelf here, right? Like you got a full-fledged team that's happening right now.
oh, thank you.
All right, who else? I need one or two more people. Who we got? All right, I got you. Add to spotlight. I need one more. Sarah, is that you?
Yeah. You can put me in.
All right, perfect. All right, so here we go. So, Ms. Anderson, you have a team that's here. I'm not going to speak. I'm going to let you guys essentially take control. Ms. Anderson, I just want you to call and say, hey, listen, you know, calling about this particular property. I got a couple of questions. And then say, hey, I do have some of my team that's here. And then I want you guys to just take the call away. Whichever direction you want it to go is the direction that it should go.
Okay.
All right. You just have to put the phone on speaker so that everybody can hear.
My phone.
Oh, you're dialing on you're on the Zoom on your phone, right?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Is there anybody else on the team that can call for her and then put it on speaker and let her speak? Or is everybody on their phone? Because I can dial. I just want to see if anybody else is available.
Yeah, I can do it.
All right, let's do it. So, Ms. Anderson, you gotta be ready because as soon as he dials, he's not gonna speak. He's gonna let you talk first.
Okay.
And
Phone number is
Miss
My first name is Lene.
Lene.
Lene,
Yes.
thank you.
you got
You're
the
welcome.
number?
What is the number?
81. Well, I'm giving it to Daryl since he'll
Okay.
call. 813-462-4214. But you should take it down too.
What's his name? Michael.
Nicholas or Michelle. I mean Michael. Don't call him Michelle. That might
Don't
not
call him Michelle.
No, don't call him Michelle.
All right, let's see. All right, here we go.
Let's do it.
So Lene, I'll ask for Michael, and if he picks up, I'm gonna let you go ahead and introduce yourself. Okay.
Okay.
My favorite is after you finish doing all this prep work and then the pick up. It's like, God.
Can you hear it okay?
I heard the ringing.
Yeah.
Lisa Fallon /USA is currently unavailable. Please leave a message after the tone.
All right, that led me to Lisa. Don't know who Lisa is. Maybe she's the admin. Can we go to the, you want to try the Cushman and Wakefield site specifically?
There you go. Try these numbers instead. What number did I give you before? 462?
That was the 462-4214, so that's different.
So here we go.
We're gonna hit him up on his cell.
Yeah, 813.
Yep.
658-8278.
All right.
And that is for Mike.
Mike, gotcha.
Hi, you reached Mike Donaldson with Cushman and Wakefield. I am currently out of the.
All right, let's try Nick.
You reached the voicemail of Nick Neoli with Cushman and Wakefield. Please leave me a message.
It looks like we crapped out on actual people here. Was there anybody else listed on that or just those two?
Just those two, I think.
Just those two. Okay. So yeah, well, you probably can try to call them later, since we didn't get anybody to even pick up. Looks Mike's went directly to voicemail, seemed like after one ring. Obviously, Nick knows his work number.
So in an event like this, what I would do is, well, first of all, I would have called them 3 times just because I'm a stalker like that, right? But because we are kind of pressed for time here, what I would do is move on to the next one, right? Because remember, is it about the property itself? No, these broker calls are about the relationship that we're trying to build with this broker, right? So, oh, look, these guys again. Now, listen, this is the second property. If I find one more property that they have, I'm going to assume that these guys are pretty well known in this market. So this is more of a reason why you want to connect with somebody from this group.
Okay.
Right? Let's go out of here again. Let's see. Drum roll, please. All right, I don't think it's that. All right, here we go. So here's one brand new construction, 20 unit. Now they have marketing materials here. Now, sometimes brokers will try to tell you like, oh, you can just download the marketing materials. A lot of times, especially if you're getting off of one of these websites, they're not up to date. So don't feel bad about asking questions, or if they try to shoot you off the phone, be like, oh, you could just get it from the website. You're looking for up-to-date information, right?
Okay,
So
what's the address?
this address is 5205 Eagleston Ave, Eggelston.
ETG?
No, EGG, like egg.
Oh, okay, EGG.
LE. STON Avenue.
Okay, Avenue, Orlando. Okay.
Yep. So this is at a 4.5 cap rate, 20 units. They're trying to sell it for 495. I'm sorry, for 349
That's per unit.
per unit, correct. That's how you want to say it, because most brokers talk like this. They don't use the asking price or whisper
Okay,
price.
when they call that the whisper price,
Correct.
what is the whisper price?
Correct. So the whisper price would be the whole price that it's selling for, but
okay.
it's not like the official price. It's almost like sometimes you hear guidance as well. So basically they're saying like, if you're in this ballpark price, you know what I mean, you're in a good place. Now this property has been on here for some time. How do I know that? It says it's a brand new apartment complex completed in 2022. This property is located at Center off of Lee Road and State. Residents are now moving in as of March 1st, 2022. We're about to be in March 1st, 2023.
Yeah.
And this bad boy is still on here, right? So again, never look at stuff and be like, oh, well, it's not, whatever. Like I always look. Now this was updated this month, about a week and a half ago or so. And this is the price that they think it's worth, right? I don't know if the marketing materials was updated as well, but nonetheless, I would say let's call and see what we can get a hold of them. So there, you got us. Can you connect us again? And guys and girls,
go back to that number.
Yeah, it's okay if they like, oh, well, we put that information in the thing. It's okay to be like, I haven't had a chance to take a look at that yet because I just saw the property and I just knew I had to call because my team loves this. I'll take a look at it after I get off the phone with you, right? Now, if somebody says, well, why don't you look at it first and then call me back? You'd be like, well, since we're already on the phone, why not just have the conversation and then I can go look at it? It's the same thing, except we're already on the phone. So,
well, except that thing is for 22.
It shows you people who are really active and serious. Some brokers kind of feel they have the attitude just like some agents do, where it's like, Well, I posted it and now you call me. Like I don't have to rush. But the successful ones are the ones who are like actively trying to get it sold. All right, we good to go?
Hi, this
Double down, triple down.
Hit him up, hit him up. And what I do too, I like to go to the main website. Are you calling Susan?
Yeah, I called her twice.
All right, let's call Eduardo after. 407-284-4928.
Thank you for calling Resource Development Investment Properties Incorporated. If you would like to reach Susan Morris, press 1. Kane Morris Webster, press 2. And Eduardo Gomez, press 3.
They all went out to lunch.
Hello.
Hello, Eduardo. How are you? Hey, my name is Daryl.
Who is this?
Hey, my name is Daryl. I have a partner of mine, Lene, on the line as well. We came across your listing on LoopNet for the Eggleston place.
One second. You know what? Can we try this call one more time? You're breaking up really badly. I don't know what it is with internet today, but could you try again?
Yeah, absolutely.
Just hang up and try again because I can only hear like every other word or fraction of the word. I apologize.
No problem. We'll do. Call you back.
So that was good, but off of that 10-second interaction, I would tell you have to match his speed. Because judging how he's talking back to you, he doesn't talk as you do. So slow down your speed a little bit to match his speed.
Okay.
Hello,
Hey, Eduardo, how you doing? This is Daryl again. Can you hear me okay?
Daryl. Much better.
Much better. Look, I appreciate your patience, sir. Thank you so much. No, I was calling in reference.
Tell me your full name and who you're with, because that I did not hear very well.
Yeah, so my name is Daryl Griffin Simmons, and I work with a couple other people here, and actually I have Lene on the line. She's part of our group as well. We're based out in the Southeast here, and we came across your listing at Eggleston Place and wanted to see if you had a few minutes to kind of, answer some questions for us that we had.
Which one of the listings?
Eggleston Place?
5205 Eggleston Avenue, Orlando,
Yes,
Florida.
Yeah.
Check something really quickly. Where did you see that?
This was on LoopNet that we came across it.
Give me the address again.
Yep. 5205 EGG.
Eggleston.
Yep.
Let me look this up. Just 1 second. Oh, okay. So these are the apartments. Right. It's an apartment complex, correct?
Correct.
Yes. Sorry about that. So no, what happens is that this is my partner, Kane, is actually managing this property. That's why I was unfamiliar with it to begin with. But yeah, this is listed by us, RDAP. And let me give you her number where you can reach her, and she'll be more than happy to walk you through all the details. Hold on just 1 second, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Do you have something to write with?
Pardon?
Yes.
I'm going to give you the number. You ready?
Yeah, is this for Susan or is this for Kane? I'm sorry.
For Kane.
Okay.
we're a small group. We're only 3, but in the case of this property in particular, Kane is managing it directly. So it's Kane Morris Webster, and her number is 407-928. 928-8752. So I'm going to repeat that. 407-928-8752.
All right,
Okay.
got it. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, and I'll let her know that you'll be calling. I'll text her. I don't know if she's 3:30. You may be able to reach her, but if not, I'll let her know, and I'll give their names and telephone number, so she's expecting you. If you're not able to just reach her right now.
Gotcha.
All right.
Is this her direct number? Is that her direct number?
That is her direct number. Yes.
All right. Well, we got 3 minutes to try to catch her before 3:30. So thank you, Eduardo. I appreciate it.
All right.
All right. Have a good one. Bye.
Thank you.
Great job. That was good. Let's try to catch her while you guys are calling. Eduardo seems like a great guy to be able to call back and just like shoot the shit, right?
I
Like,
was just about to say that, right? I know we're pressed for time, but
yeah, if we weren't pressed for time, I would definitely reach back out to him.
And maybe ask him for any other complexes he might have available.
Yup. Or people he knows. Or ask him what is it that he's looking for, and maybe we can send help his way.
Okay.
Hi, you've reached Kane Morris.
Okay, Kane obviously took her lunch early. But I love it, and let me tell you why. There's something that I'm studying right now that I'm working really hard on, and eventually I'll come out with something. But I'm trying to get people to focus more on systems than goals, because your goal is to get 1,000 doors. Your goal is to talk to a broker a day or whatever, 10 brokers a day. But there's so much things that could come in the way of your goals, which is why, i.e., we always end up making new goals. A lot of times we end up making the same new goal, right? Every year. We got a broker call live. Let's do it.
I'm doing great. I was calling you about the property at the Magnolia Apartments, 56 units.
We are under letter of intent and initiating a contract.
Gotcha. All right. Well, I will reserve the right to follow up on you with that. Follow up with you on that is okay. Do you have any other multifamily assets that you are marketing currently?
I have one potential off-market deal. I actually just a longtime client of mine, and he's contemplated selling. And I just texted him this morning to see if he was a serious seller or not. It's probably a similar size property. I want to say it's around 60 units spread over 3 different properties that are in proximity to each other.
Okay.
Is that something that might be of interest?
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, that's always I prefer off-market properties, so it's interesting that you say that. How define the proximity? Do you know how close together they are?
I'd say they're within a mile of each other.
Oh.
Two of them are right next to each other. The bulk of the units are together, and then the other is just kind of a side property that I think has. I'm going off memory, so don't hold me to it. I want to say the other one has like 12 units, but it's in the same general area. So from a management perspective, it's super easy.
Yeah, no, that sounds perfect. Now, it's funny. I'm doing a lot of networking here. We're my team and I are actively pursuing assets in Tennessee specifically. But when I wrote your name and number down, I wrote Magnolia Apartments. And I don't know if that's in Chattanooga or Memphis or Knoxville or where it is.
It's in Knoxville.
Okay.
And these properties that I'm talking about are just outside of Knoxville.
Okay.
Do me a favor.
Sure.
I'm in a really bad place for cell service.
Okay.
Do you have my email address?
Go ahead and give it to me if you could.
It's Adam, ADAMS, at Collamore, KOLLAMOORE.com.
Got it. Perfect.
If you could send me your contact information, send me kind of your general acquisition criteria. I specialize only in investment sales, with multifamily being a large component of what I do.
Okay.
So just send me what you're looking for. Remind me we talked on the phone, because my memory is not what it used to be. And as soon as I hear back from my client on these units, I can send you a confidentiality agreement and get you some details.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. That's a perfect scenario right up my alley. So I appreciate that.
Okay.
I will send you that.
Yeah.
I'll send you that email this afternoon. So I see that you spent.
Wonderful. Thank you very much.
I see that you spent a lot of your career in Central Florida. What area were you in?
I actually graduated high school in Oviedo and got my real estate license when I was 18.
Nice.
And this is all I've ever done. I lived right outside of the University of Central Florida in that area.
Yep.
And my portfolio was I spent the first 23 years of my career there. So I did a lot, but the last 5 years I was there, I was in-house for a German investment group, and my portfolio was Orlando, Tampa, Jacksonville.
Awesome.
So
very good.
Are you from that area?
Well, so it's funny. I live in Atlanta now. I'm from New England, but I graduated high school in Boca. So not super close to where you are, but we used to travel up to that area to play a golf tournament here and there. And so very familiar with the Orlando area. I have a niece that lives in Claremont Bay. So yeah. So awesome.
It's very small world.
Absolutely. So well, I appreciate your time. Thanks for taking my call. And I'll look forward to.
Thank you for calling.
Yeah, I look forward to following up with you.
Okay, sounds like a plan.
Take care. Thanks.
Listen. There was so much to dissect. I'm not even sure I know where to actually start. But Peter, if you can change your name from now on, we're just gonna put billionaire MF Peter on there. And now people outside of the group could think it stands for multifamily, but we know inside what it stands for, right? We understand what it stands for. Dude, that was amazing. I just give one favorite part of mine, which is now I'm patented calling it your spin move. You have a Hakeem Olajuwon spin move. When people are trying to get off the phone, you naturally understand how to extract one or two more pieces. And it's not just like BS, like, oh, so how's the weather out there? Like, you're just like, she's in the middle of having horrible service. You can actually hear the phone cracking and piece like, so what, what else do you do? Effortlessly, man. Like billionaire MF Peter from now on, bro.
So here's what I want to comment on that call, because this is actually the first Zoom that we've done that I've pretty much been silent the whole time. and the dialogue's been great, and I've had half an ear on it, and I have to turn the volume down sometimes because when I'm dialing, I don't want them to hear the Zoom call in the background. But I got a whole bunch of voicemail today. I was not reaching anybody. I was so frustrated, and then you guys started calling. I'm like, well, I got to hold off on this one. What I wanted to say was, Lene, I appreciate you being here. Your resistance to calling was palpable, right? I could feel that. And I experience it too. So I want you to know that that's not unique to you, right? And it doesn't, I think when you guys listen to me talk to these brokers, I think I've come across as fairly comfortable, right?
Yes.
It's not always comfortable to pick up the phone and call. You just have to power through that and do it, right? And this one in particular, I had some resistance to calling her. And it's funny, the reason I did is when you look at her background, she's, in my mind, the best people for us to talk to are people that are a little bit newer in their career, right? They're not going to be as established with all their buyers. And we're going to have a better chance of some of the newer brokers bringing us their deal. Well, I'm not sure that that's a good belief. I think it's number one, it's a limiting belief. Number two, some of the best agents could ultimately, they're the best, they're award winning for a reason, right? And some of them are award winning and they're obnoxious and they don't have time for new people and they're going to shut you down. And so what? Continue to follow up with them anyway. Bug them until they tell you, hey, never call me again, right? But I had this preconceived notion that this woman is going to be, she's had so much success over the years that she's not going to want to deal with a quote newbie, right? And nothing could have been further from the truth, right? She's as warm as they come.
Yeah.
And that's exactly who I tend to connect with, right? People that respond like that. If somebody's really super cold and super short, if they have a deal, will I follow up with them? Yeah, but am I going to spend a lot of time trying to develop a relationship with that person? No. This woman made me feel right at home, right? I'm gonna send her an email this afternoon, 100%. She's going to be on a call list. If not, I don't want to bug her, right? So I probably won't call her every week, but I won't let a month go by without calling her. Right off, I didn't even have to ask her right off the bat. Well, I've got an off-market deal. I don't know if you'd be interested in that. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's my next question, right? Do you have any off-market deals that we could talk about? So anyway, I just want to point that I want to affirm how I know you felt, right? It's not always comfortable to pick up the phone and do it, but none of these people are going to bite. Not one of them. Now they might bite a little, they might bark a little bit, but who cares? Move on. There's a million of them, and don't do what I did. Don't look at, oh my gosh, this person's amazing. I can't call her. She's awesome. She's awesome. So anyway, just make the list, write down the phone numbers, make the calls. That first one is the hardest, I promise you. Once you get over that, you realize, ask Daryl. Daryl, when did you make your first call?
When did I make my first call?
Yeah, pretty recently, right?
Yeah. And like exactly how you said it. Nervous. Yeah. Once you have a conversation and you feel right through the phone, their calmness or at least willingness to have a conversation with you, that kind of just you settle down. Like Eddie told me, he said, hey, look, you're talking too fast, right? I wasn't matching Eduardo. Eduardo was a smooth, chill guy on a Monday afternoon in Florida, probably, or wherever he is. Hey, he's like, look, man, you talking like you're from the Northeast. Chill out. You live in Georgia now. Match his energy, match his tone. Okay. Yeah. I got you.
Well, I think there was a little bit of a delay, right? In the cell phone coverage or whatever. Sometimes there's that delay. And we just kept talking over each other, and you got to just be aware of that, right? And
exactly
back up a second. let him say something, but no, you did fine. And when you are talking, you're very comfortable, right? But do you always feel super comfortable when you pick up the phone to dial that
No.
number?
No, when that phone's ringing, the heart starts to race. Like, oh my God. And when they say hello, it's like, oh, okay. Hey, thanks for picking up the phone.
Yeah, you
Right.
still, I don't care how many times you've done. I mean, at a certain point, you do. It
Right.
sort of becomes second nature. But it's like a muscle, right? You've got to exercise it. You got to do it over and over and over again. And don't worry about messing up, right? I've told this story many times, but we've got a person in our community who talks about his first call to this one broker, and it was awful. He completely messed it up, right? That broker, he and that broker are now friends. That broker brings him deals. They laugh about that first call and how bad it was. So if it's somebody that you're going to establish a relationship with, who wants to have a relationship with buyers, there's really not a whole lot you can do to mess it up. Certainly not permanently. Can you mess up that call? Sure. Are you going to mess up the relationship permanently? Probably not. But we're 10 minutes over, guys. I can't tell you how much I appreciate all of you being here. Please keep coming back. I love when we get somebody who hasn't done it before, who raises their hand, admits they haven't done it. We want more of you guys to do that. We just want to give you that nudge that you need. Pick up the phone and make those calls. That's what this is all about. We need
What's the name?
more.
What was the name of the guy that was helping me and your phone number, please?
Daryl was helping you.
Daryl?
Daryl?
Yep, that's me, Daryl.
Okay, what's your phone number, Daryl?
Area code 610-564-4875.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right.
And that's what this is all about, guys.
There it
Network, get to know each other, put your information in the chat, reach out to people, connect on Instagram, connect on Facebook, wherever you connect. This is where your team is. This is where you're going to find your partners.
Yep.
So
Yep.
keep coming back. We appreciate all the feedback. Vineet, thanks for chiming in there and
Big time. Big
setting
time.
us straight. That was awesome. That was great information for all of us. And keep coming back, guys.
Let's do it.
Thank
So
you very
remember,
much, everybody.
of course, thank you. Thank you for stepping to the plate.
Absolutely.
You were getting red and you were still inside the house. So I knew we were doing something right, right? I knew it wasn't the sun.
So let me ask you a question before Eddie.
We're excited, glad you're here. Yeah, go ahead.
Lene, will you commit to making some calls between now and next Monday?
Yes, I will.
Awesome.
We look forward
Love
to
to
it.
hear it.
All right.
For everyone else, we're going to end it today. We do have a recorded call Daryl did. We're going to review the call, give him some feedback, and we'll also make sure you guys get a chance to hear it, or maybe we do it live next week. But definitely make sure you're tuning in. We're doing this. I'm not on the clock. Peter's not getting paid. We're doing this because we want to give back, right? We want to be able to help us all elevate to the next level, and that's what it's about. So again, tomorrow night, 8 p.m., same bad time, same bad channel. Bring your napkins. We'll be underwriting your deals. Even if it's a deal you don't have, but you're curious on how it would work, bring it and we'll make sure to set you straight. With that being said, we're all good. Billionaire Pete, anything else?
I need everybody to turn their cameras on so we can take a quick screenshot before we close this thing out.
Let's do it. I love it. I love it.
We don't have enough camera. There we go. Look at those people.
Let's turn the cameras on. We'll do our patented phone call symbol.
That's right. That's it.
As we're doing these broken
Everybody's
calls.
dialing. Phones up. Come on, guys.
Phones up. All
Phones
right.
up. Nice.
Let's
I like it.
On a count of three, are you taking the picture or who's taking the picture?
I can do it. 1, 2, 3. Got it. Awesome.
Perfect.
Thanks,
Perfect.
guys.
Put it up, tag. Love you all. Be safe. Be great. And like my kids say to me now, which is kind of weird, stay charged up.
Thank you.